What is a shinobi? Any person with a heart called to serve, whose discipline has made them dangerous, is hereby titled Shinobi. These are their stories. What's up, my ninjas? We're live and in studio. Welcome back to Shinobi Chronicles, hosted by Zero Abyss.
Nassim King.
Our goal here is always to provide inspiration, education, and motivation for our fellow shinobi who are walking the path of greatness through achievement and service. As always, it's our great honor to serve you all, and so we will not disappoint you. I hope y'all have been pursuing your highest selves over this last week. Today we'll be discussing why you should prioritize passion over paychecks. We're also going to give our thoughts on the pros and cons of having a big ego. And then lastly, we're going to be giving some open thoughts to the public. Nassim, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First up, we're going to be talking about why you should prioritize passion over paychecks. I wanted to warm us up with a little recount of our history. So some of y'all know, Nassim and I used to work at Steak and Shake way back when. We're not going to discuss the years. Now, I've been trying to be better about not name dropping, so it's a slight name change, but if you know, you know. When we worked at Steak and Shake together, our store GM, her name was Vanna, we just call her Vanna. And I want to say very clearly, she obviously hated everything about her job. Like, she hated getting up early in the morning. She hated doing stock on the Wednesdays. She hated every lazy employee. She hated our best two employees, the ones who kept that store alive. You already know they died without us. This is true. I can't think of anything that it seemed like liked about working it. Whoops, I didn't mean to name drop. Oh well, I can't think of anything that Vanna clearly liked about working at that Steak and Shake. I don't think she liked the uniform. I don't think she liked the food. I don't think she liked nothing about it. Which was interesting because, one, morale and culture are going to come from the top, but she was the GM, man. She was making the most money of any of us there, probably had one of the better cars. Like at the very least, like I said, biggest paycheck there, and she hated it. Can you think of any times that Vanna might have rubbed you the wrong way? She would talk crazy to us about being 5 minutes late, knowing that we had to come from high school. We was in high school, man, and at the time you stayed 15 minutes down the highway. We were supposed to be on at 5. We would show up at like 5:06 or something, trying to fight 5 o'clock traffic. Y'all know 5 o'clock traffic, bro, on the highway. If you're from STL, Highway 170 at that, come on now. Should be on our ass about, oh, you guys need to be here on time. We carry in the store every evening shift. Like, we're the reason you get to go home, and she was tripping. Like, right or wrong? Am I wrong?
You all right. You all right. She always was tripping. She's the reason why I left.
On me, she was. In fact, she was the reason why both of us left, because this is unrelated, but we told everybody, hey, we kind of packaged the deal on this one. When one of us is gone, the other will be leaving soon after. And when he left, I promise to God, about a week later, I gave my 2 weeks notice. They was hurt. That Steak and Shake was closed within a year. I'm not making this up. I wish I was, but I ain't. Regardless though, in that case, you got somebody that chose their paycheck, and you can see where it went. On the other hand, I got a friend by the name of Adrian Martin. Most people nowadays, though, they know him as 84. He's the genius behind the Born Elite brand. Very wise dude. I'm gonna get him in here on an episode one of these days. He's hella busy too, but trust me, y'all gonna appreciate when 84 come through here. But lately, he's been really locked in on his music career. He's a rapper, and it's been building, growing traction. In fact, he has a show today, 12 to 5, if I'm not mistaken. If I wasn't doing this, I would be there. Before he even got into his music career, he had his Born Elite clothing brand. I don't know if y'all can see this. BE, Born Elite, be yourself. be who God made you to be. Trust me, like you see anybody wearing the BE, you already know it's a calling card. In fact, at my job just yesterday, I saw a lady walking in and she was wearing some of his gear, and I was like, oh, you know 84, don't you? She said, yes, I do. And it's like we automatically know just because of the brand that he's built about it, like good folks right there, good folks right there. But in that case, you have an example of somebody who's chosen his passion and he's pursuing it. You know, and don't get me wrong, you got to keep your job initially. When you coming up or when you don't know what your passion is, bills got to get paid. Once you hit 18 and you got responsibilities, bills got to get paid. So don't let me talk you into thinking that you should quit your job today and pursue your lifelong dream of making movies or being a movie director. You should pursue your dream, but don't drop the job yet. But understand that you cannot, when it comes to which you choose to prioritize, you got to choose that passion. But another example I like to give is, y'all know I'm big on D Smoke. I love his music. I love what he stands for, like not just the sound, but the lyrics and so on and so forth. But D Smoke was a music teacher over in Inglewood, California. You know, he chose a job that was in line with what his passion was already. He already had a passion for music. Music was big in his family. And so he was teaching that to others. But he went for that Rhythm and Flow audition. That's where I found out about D Smoke, was on the Netflix show Rhythm and Flow. Won the whole thing because he was good like that. My bad, I should have dropped a spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but it's been years. Regardless, so and now he's popular. Side note, one of the best compliments I ever got in my life, I was working at a place called Sophie's Artist Lounge. It was my second job at the time. I was doing security, and a girl from California came over to me. Her name was Umu, pretty girl. Came over to me and she said, you ever heard of D Smoke? I said, yeah, I love D Smoke. She said, you look like him to me. Now, at the time, that was the best compliment I'd ever got in my life. It really sparked my day. But I mentioned him because that's an example of when you choose to prioritize your passion first, and make your paycheck maybe second priority, and it comes through for you. Down the line, y'all can trust this, Retired by 30. Y'all can trust this. We're going to be examples of people that you can say, like, man, those dudes stuck with the passion and it turned over results for them. But right now, we dudes that got bills to pay, so we got jobs. But like my boy Nassim, Divine Hand, man, y'all got to see his artwork. Check him out. Hey, you'll not see him on Instagram. Trust me, you're going to see his artwork in museums. You're going to see him online, but it's about staying with the passion. You have to prioritize the passion. When we say choose passion over paychecks, it's not to say give up your job and go gung-ho on what you're passionate about 100%. Again, I say, you got to pay your bills. You have to pay your bills, go to right or wrong.
Correct.
But in terms of what do you prioritize, what's highest order of magnitude, choose the passion, man. Please choose the passion. I came across a reel, I think. Andrew and Tristan Tate's brand. It's called The Real World because their whole theme is that once you get rich, you start making some money, then you start living a real life. You gotta escape the rat race. Retired by 30, okay? But a couple of times now I've seen their background story, and they say, Andrew was fighting. A lot of Andrew Tate fans know he was a fighter, MMA of some sort, if I'm not mistaken. Eventually became a world champion, and went on to do more things than that. I don't even know how they got locked up. I got to do my research, y'all. But the story goes that while Andrew was fighting, trying to build that career out, Tristan his brother had a sales job. He was selling windows, I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken. He said he was making, maybe like 3,000 or 4,000 pounds a month, decent money or whatever. And at one point he said that Andrew came to him and he goes, hey man, I could give up fighting, just come work with you. We'll make like $6K a month, we're gonna be good, we'll have a comfortable life. And they said that Tristan told him no. He said, Andrew, I need you to stick with this because if you come join me, like this is gonna be your life. And sure, it can be comfortable, but he says, I need you to keep fighting, stay with what you're good at, stay with what you're passionate about. so that you can break through to that next level. Otherwise we'll never get there. And spoiler alert, now Andrew Tate is worth over 300 million, but I'm just giving these examples, D-Smoke, Andrew Tate, 84, others in your mind. When you choose to prioritize the passion, it simply takes you places. In Russell Brunson's book trilogy I've been reading, .com secrets, expert secrets, traffic secrets, internet marketing secrets, you could really call it. In his own formula for how you construct your value ladder, he says the very first thing that you have to do is that you have to figure out who you're on fire to serve. Figure out who you're on fire to work with. Who are you passionate about waking up and connecting with every day? Otherwise, you're going to be doing something that you're not passionate about, and you're going to hate your job. Even your own business. You might have your own business. You might be successful making money with it, and you're going to hate it. You're going to wake up miserable. And he says that most of the time, that person that you're thinking of, that dream customer, whom you're on fire to work with, like who you really want to connect with, is whoever you were 5 years ago. They say whatever your issues were 5 years ago that you've worked hard to overcome, typically the person that you're on fire to work with is somebody who is in the same place that you were 5 years ago. And helping them get along closer to where you are now is likely to come as the, likely to be that person that you're on fire to serve. I'm trying to think, who were you 5 years ago? Not saying, who were you 5 years ago?
5 years ago, I was working at Chick-fil-A at that time, and I was miserable. I did hate going to work. I was like, fuck, I gotta get up and go to work. 12-hour shifts just to deal with them. And whenever I'm pissed off, I just get quiet. I go mute, but I still make sure I get my job done and stuff. But I was just a basic ass worker. I get up, work, go to sleep, repeat. I really didn't put time aside for my passions either, unfortunately. But I'm back on it now. But yeah, that's basically who I was, just a worker, average person.
I'm trying to think, who was I 5 years ago? We were both working at Chick-fil-A. We worked at the same Chick-fil-A. Some of y'all probably know that already. I don't even know if I had any passions back then. I used to like to play the video game. I was a PlayStation man. Still am. Catch me on Ultra Rumble. I feel like it was pretty similar. We were 20. What you said though, it was wake up, go to work. We clock in at 11. We was getting done about 10:30, 10:45, just depending. Maybe 10:20 if we was lucky. Pushing them 11, 12-hour shifts. Be exhausted, go home, maybe hop on the sticks, probably order Domino's pizza or something.
Mm-hmm.
Running back the next day. We were working 5, 6 days a week. The only reason we didn't go 7 is because it was Chick-fil-A. They would have had us in there. I don't know, but at the very least, I can say where we are now is at least that we're understanding the importance of being purpose-driven. Having something that does feed your soul, having something that you are chasing. And in this segment, it was a little more difficult. A lot of times I have like personal story examples of the before and the afters, of the what I didn't know and what I do now know. And in this example though, it's a little different because, y'all gotta bear in mind, we're just documenting our journey here. We're both dudes with dreams and dudes with jobs at the same time. Places we want to go and places that we're at right now. And so I can't come on here and say, I'm on fire to teach people how to escape the 9 to 5. Maybe I will be one day. I am, because trust me, I'm trying to get there myself, and I will one day. Maybe by the time I'm 30, I'm gonna help the 25-year-olds that are trying to get out by 30, But it's an interesting place to be in the midst of your journey, not necessarily closer to the end. You're in the midst of escaping the rat race, but not done yet. You're still racing. but it's different, you know. I feel like you're racing for a different goal. When you're really in the throes of the rat race, when you're a Matrix man, all you're looking for is that next paycheck. You just 2 weeks to 2 weeks, man, or week to week, whatever it might be. But when your consciousness elevates, when your mindset raises, and you know you're looking for that out, yeah, you might be in the rat race, but you're not racing the rest of the rats, man. You're not racing just to next Friday. You know, like I said, I feel like we're a lot better now about knowing that we're pursuing something with purpose, with meaning, with depth, serving our families, serving our communities. And so the motivation is entirely different. You know, the mindset is entirely different. Wake up, tap in, meditate. Not every day. I need to meditate every day, but it's a different place to be. But this idea, you know, in and of itself, it came out of, for me, of course, I think I saw an Instagram reel. Almost everything comes out of an Instagram reel. Content is eternal. But y'all know how I like to talk about Robert Greene, Paper Gold, all the time. I'm telling you, you pick up any Robert Greene book, you will be satisfied unless you're just crazy. Some of y'all are. But Robert Greene's book, Mastery, where he outlines your journey from the apprentice, the student, you know, the learner, where you need a mentor, to becoming that somebody, to becoming the mentor. And Russell Brunson kind of outlines this too, especially in Expert Secrets, where he discusses how you transform from the person with just a passion to the mentor, to the guide, to the expert. And I think we discussed some of that in some previous episodes, so I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but specifically, Robert Greene tells that you have to choose something that you are passionate about and stick with that, you know, long enough to become a master of it. You got to put in your 10,000 hours, man, that 10,000 hours to mastery. But what he really explains there is that when you put in that time, that discipline, so on and so forth, your passion, when it makes you a master, when it makes you an expert, getting paid will become a byproduct of that anyway. You know, when you put the time and discipline into your craft, if it's your art, if it's your music, if you're a fighter, you're a barber, you know, you might get to be that barber who says, yeah, I'll come to you, but I charge $250 an hour, and there will be people who pay you just to cut their hair, like $250 an hour. It's crazy, but it's out there. There will be people who will pay you commissions. Hey, I need that $1,000 portrait. Get me right. Sticking with your passion and becoming a master in your craft, getting paid will become a byproduct. You know, it happens anyway because you're going to be at the top of what you do. Like, that's why the book's called Mastery, because you become a master. Whereas on the inverse side, if you prioritize the paycheck, the cost is that you're actually going to give up on your passions, and you end up turning into the person who drives your Range Rover to work and hate your job every day, you know. And what's the point of that? You become a Ivana. You got highest paid person in the building, and you hate everything about what you do there. I don't know, but I think that's really all I had to say about it. Truthfully, I went over all my notes, but same as what was said before. Prioritize. You got to prioritize your passions.
Yeah. One thing I just remembered, I don't know how I forgot about it because it did stick with me for a little minute. After the first Chick-fil-A, I was out of a job for a little minute or whatever, and there was a worker there. I forgot his name, but he was a pastor, and he would always like try to
Armand.
Yes, Armand. You know, shout out to Armand.
Hey, shout out to Armand. Good dude. Armand Polar. I don't mean to put your government out there, but good dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude, real good dude. But if you were looking at this for some reason, it stuck to my head, like it stuck with me. But you know, I was always down and stuff, like a lot. But he always tried to spit some good stuff to me and stuff. Like sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But I was out of a job, and sometimes like he would hold this I forgot what it was called, but like he'd collect up a whole bunch of youth and all that stuff. And he invited me. Eventually I went. You know, we would just sit right there and eat with him, his sons, his wife, other youthful people and stuff like that, just talking about things and how they doing in life and all that stuff. Eventually we'll get into Bible scriptures and all that stuff. And how that affects us and all that stuff. But he knew I was out of job because, again, we worked at the same job for a second. And, he slipped me some money. I'm like, I don't need your money because I don't like taking charity and nothing like that. I can get my own money. But he's like, take it. I was like, nah, man. He's like, nah, take it. You need to be more receive. Like, you need to receive more instead of give more, which that stuck with me too. But he was like, I draw and stuff. So he was like, you been drawing? I'm like, no, not really. He was like, you got to start putting your money into what you're passionate about. So that stuck with me. I'm like, huh. So, I've been lacking on buying more art supplies. But, it stuck with me. He was like, yeah, just put money into what you're passionate about and it'll come to you. So, you got your job right now, whatever you want to do. Like, if you're an artist, use that little extra money from your checks to buy some colored pencils, some extra pencils, some paper, and just draw. Or if you like music, save up a little money, get you a computer, a little sound set and stuff, like mic, all that stuff, bro. Just
in home studio.
Yeah, do things one at a time. If you can't get if you can't get a computer right now, just ask to borrow somebody's computer or something real quick. I'm sure you got some family members that are willing to help you, especially if you're really passionate about it. But yeah, just put your money into your passion, and then eventually your passion will get you the money. Like also said, yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like it really emphasizes the point that I was trying to make earlier. In that, yes, you have to keep your job. I know you got rent, I know you got car note, I know you got phone bill. We know you got bills. We normal folk too. We ain't come from trust funds, okay? We getting it up out the mud, but when you prioritize, this is that prioritize. Yeah, you take care of your bills, but when you got that spare money, maybe slow down one DoorDash tonight, get you some colored pencils. If you into fashion, why don't you buy a sewing machine? If you like music, go ahead and get you a mic, get a soundboard, something of that nature. If you want to write, you think you want to be an author, buy some books. Best way to become a great writer is to read more. You're into graphic design, go ahead and get you a tablet, get you something, whatever your passion might be. You like to play the guitar, buy one. Got me a little guitar off Amazon, $80. You can find $80. I'm sure you mostly can. Need to get another guitar. I ain't gonna talk about what happened in my last one. I don't have it no more. It's with her. No. Anyways, whatever your passion might be, make it a priority, and that's the emphasis. When we say prioritize your passion over paychecks, make it a priority when, it's a mental thing. When you're prioritizing the paycheck, this is what I'm saying, chasing the next 2 weeks, you're going to go ahead and get the DoorDash, you're going to buy some underwear that you don't need. Some of y'all be sagging, y'all like to show your underwear. That don't make sense to me. Unrelated though.
It means you somebody bitch, by the way.
It really do. We ain't gonna get on that. Different topic. But this would, like I said, it's a mindset thing. When you're prioritizing the paycheck, what I'm saying is you're bypassing your passions, willfully just going to work, going through the motions. You're spending your money on bull, nothing that feeds your soul, cultivates your spirit, and you're doing it over and over again. You're letting your passions go. Whereas when you're prioritizing your passions, again I say, no, that doesn't mean that you quit your job today. But put money into what you're passionate about. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Shout out to Armand. Yeah, but I think the point was made. Passion over paychecks. Don't miss that. So we'll slide right into our second talking point today. Wanted to discuss some pros and cons of having a big ego. Now I'll run it up. Y'all know I like to run my mouth. So as a baby, I don't remember this, but I was told this. So I remember it enough because I was told this. But as a baby, I was my mom's firstborn. So she used to tell me that I was everything. She told me I was the sun, the moon, the stars, the whole world. That I could be everything, so on and so forth. And my young psyche soaked it all in. And so growing up, I had a big ass ego, man. I thought I was that nigga, because I am. Anyways, I soaked it up. I thought I was everything. But, during middle school and then into high school, and then especially after high school when I got into the real world, got me a little reality check. Um, I almost would say that I work to reduce my ego, but really it kind of just reduced on its own. You know, you get slapped around by life a good handful of times. I don't care how great you think you are, you're gonna have a hard time bouncing back from that. You're gonna start to think a little less of yourself. Like the more L's you take in a row, you know, nothing offsets an L like a dub. You know, nothing offsets 4 L's in a row like one good dub. But when you took 4 L's, 10 L's, 20 L's in a row, it's gonna be hard to still think highly of yourself. But regardless, like I said, middle school, high school, and especially after, I would say I really worked to reduce my ego, because many of the cons, you know, they began to show themselves. And I'm gonna give y'all a story a little later. But lately, I feel like I've established a healthier balance, you know, and I have more tact about having a big ego, you know, using it to motivate me appropriately. So I'm gonna tell y'all where this topic came from. So the other day I was on YouTube, and again I saw a reel by The Real World. The algorithm has figured out that I kind of like their content, so The Real World shows up in my feeds a lot, so I might get a lot of ideas in there. Nothing wrong with being a copycat as long as you copy the right cat. Just want to put that out there, but you don't copy paste. You know, you take the outline, you let it inspire you, but you fill in the gaps with your own being, with your own understanding. Don't copy paste. That's called plagiarizing. That's called thievery. That's called gross and sick. But there's nothing wrong with modeling, you know, with being inspired. We humans, mastery actually also talks about this. We all have mirror neurons. Humans are very capable of learning by mirroring what we see other people do. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with modeling. Like, that's why we have mentors in the first place. Nothing wrong with being a copycat as long as you copy the right cat. Just want to throw that out there. It's unrelated, but regardless. So I saw a reel by The Real World. I hate them two going like that, but where Andrew Tate, he was giving his reasonings for why he likes people with big egos, and why he was, you know, what he had to say about his own big ego, you know, because if you're an Andrew Tate fan, you know, he's got a big ego. But he says, look, he says that when you have a big ego, it tends to require that you work to justify said ego. You know, if you think you're the best at something, eventually you can only run your mouth so much before you got to back it up. My brother says it all the time. I don't want to hear no shit talk. I want to see the stick talk. That's his video game language. But my brother, he got a big ego too. But especially on the video games, see him on Dragon Ball FighterZ. That's where he get cracking. But he's got a big ego, and so he doesn't just talk the shit. You know, he put in the time on the game, so now he can do his stick talking. When you have a big ego, you have to work very hard. The bigger your ego is, especially, the harder you have to work to justify having said big ego. We spoke on our boy Terrell, I think in the previous episode, last time he was here, maybe the one before, I'm not sure. And how dude's pretty godly at video games because he plays them on difficulty. I mean, on higher risk difficulty, but you know, probably even better than me. Terrell talks some shit, boy. He loves to talk shit, just for fun. It's just no true negativity about it. We don't believe in that shit. We don't kick people while they're down. We uplifters, but ain't nothing wrong with little shit talking for fun. But like, he talk big shit, but he walk big shit. You know, he got the stick talk. Okay, so, or you know, you see a dude in the gym. Ain't nothing worse than the dude in the gym that's like walking around, talking to everybody. Then he's like, "Oh, pass me that. I can do that." And then he's like, "Yeah." Puts the weight down, and you're like, "Bro, you did 2 reps. We're done on 40. Like, what are you talking about? And you caught us while we were on 36. Like, what are you talking about?" But we're gonna get to the cons, but
don't be that person.
Please don't be that person, because we getting tired of the people, bro. Catch you up.
Off on your ass.
Be like, step outside, bro. Like, you don't have to see me. But like I said, big egos tend to require that you work hard to justify having said big ego. And that's what Andrew Tate was saying. He said, man, I got a big ego, but I had to put in lots of work to justify it. He says, but I like people with big egos because somebody else that thinks highly of themselves, like, I know they're going to be a go-getter. You know, they can run in my circle because they want to justify theirs too. A couple more pros of the big ego. Having a big ego, you're going to have big confidence. You know, you think you're the shit, you're going to walk like it, talk like it, act like it. You know, your visual and vocal image might match up some. We even talked about that. You're going to have more tenacity. And same as Andrew said, more endurance. You're just gonna be willing to go through it. Sometimes having a big ego can also make you real charismatic. If somebody is just neutral, or maybe even somebody feels a little low on themselves, with the right kind of tact, because don't be too cocky now. Like there's a fine line between like big ego and just being straight up cocky for no reason. And sometimes it gets blurred. The line ain't exactly straight all the time. It's a dotted line in the sand there. But sometimes having that big ego, that type of big energy, can be charismatic. People can be drawn to you, especially like if you're a guy who's gonna draw some females to you too. Females love like a confident man. So, but it can draw other dudes into your circle too. Especially younger guys. They see that you're really on your shit, that you work to justify your ego. You're real confident, that you walk the talk, you talk the talk and you walk the talk. But regardless, that can draw other people into your orbit, and possibly add a new team member. You might not want an incompetent team member whom you have to train, but they might have some competencies. You might not know what they have to add to your circle. Can you think any other quick possible pros of having a big ego? You probably bounce back better from a loss. You go down and you're gonna be like, man, I'm not taking that. Wouldn't you think? Yeah.
My ego ain't that big, so I can't give too many good examples.
Can't relate. I had to temper that thing, because for a while my ego was enormous. It was getting bigger every day. Like high school, I was crazy.
You gotta tell me that, bro.
Couple cons. So your big ego might be damn annoying to some people. Some people just don't like that shit.
Big facts.
Especially a lot of times when somebody's self-esteem is really low, when they're like down in the dirt. A lot of times they say misery loves company, so you're gonna people are gonna hate that. Nobody wants to be around the person that's like big hype, big energy all the time, and they feel like shit. Like before I said, it might be charismatic, but that's probably tends to be somebody who's maybe feeling just a little down on themselves or closer to neutral. Somebody that's like down in the dirt, you been down and out, crashed and burned years ago, and they came up. Like it's gonna be really hard for that type of person to tolerate being around you, especially when your vibe's on 10 or 12 all the time. You can come off too cocky. Definitely said that before too. Especially if you're one of those people who has a big ego but does not put in the work to justify. Like you don't even try to put in the work. You just think big of yourself for no good reason. Like you have no results, evidence, or achievements to back it up. Like you're just cocky for no reason. People gonna hate that shit. Guarantee I hate that shit. Don't talk big to me if you're not willing to walk big. It's like I said, it can definitely repel some people from you. Sometimes your ego might just be larger than you can justify. You might have a big ego, so you work hard to try to justify it, but sometimes like what you talk is it just outweighs what you can produce. And that's gonna make you look bad too. We don't want the shit talk, we want the stick talk. You ain't stick talking, shut your ass up. But I would also say having a big ego can sometimes run you into unnecessary competitions, especially if you engage with somebody else with a big ego and y'all are on opposing sides for whatever reason. It can run you into unnecessary competitions, and we don't got to get into the specifics of all that because we've talked about the pros and cons of competition before. And sometimes it's not always so bad. If I think I'm awesome, somebody else thinks they're awesome, and we're competing, like there are some pros to competition. Hey, we're both gonna get better out of that competition, but keep it within the realm of play. If it's in the gym or on the basketball court, like the problem can be when that competition runs you to the outside, I would say. Thoughts? I feel like something's on the tip of your tongue there. Come on.
I could be wrong on this, but having a big ego can, for lack of a better term, blind you. Like,
oh yeah.
What I'm saying is, I think I had an example in my head for a second. I forgot it that fast. What I'm saying is, me explain, but basically, you could have a big ass ego, and well, everybody's familiar with roasting, joning, however you want to call it. But you could be roasting somebody just because you feel good, like just because it's what you want to do, and you feel good about roasting people for some fucking reason. I don't fucking know, you're sick, but that's where your ego is. Like, you're like, oh, I'm pretty good with roasting and shit. But the second somebody that could be better than you pulls up and start roasting your ass, and you got no comebacks, and you start like, I feel like I'm explaining this horribly, but you know, it makes you start feeling weak and shit, and then you start being a little bitch. But I don't know. You could probably explain it better than I can, but I had a better example in my head earlier. I couldn't.
I feel like what came to mind as you were explaining that, Conor McGregor popped into my mind. I don't watch a lot of like TV and sports and stuff. When I do watch sports, like NBA or whatever, but quick side note, don't be only watching sports. That's real weak for your masculinity. Like, if you want to watch sports, cool, but if you're not playing sports, don't be watching those sports. If you play some sports and then you watch some sports, cool, but don't just be watching sports, like living your masculine life through watching the other guys be mad. Like, get on the fucking football field, bro. Like, go hoop, bro. Go run. Like, just want to put that out there. But so I don't keep up with sports like all too well. For real. Like, I really don't keep up with my Golden State Warriors, okay? But I feel like Conor McGregor, he was like in 2016, I think. I might be wrong on the year. They be merging together. I feel like he had a big fight. Did he fight Mayweather or who? Man, I don't know, but I know he did a lot of shit talking. Or was it that dude Khabib he fought, that Russian guy? Either way,
he was monsters. So like,
yeah, he is. Monsters. There was somebody that Conor McGregor fought, and like, it wasn't too long ago. I should do my research, and I feel like he got whooped, if I'm not mistaken. But what you were saying kind of made that come to mind, because I know he also like did a lot of shit talking, big ego, and he won a lot of fights too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they got
a lot of shit.
Yeah,
he backs a lot of the shit talking.
Yeah, I mean, if you back it up, you do your thing, but. That, like, as we said before, that can really make you look bad when you've been running your mouth big. And like he said, when somebody bigger and badder comes through, and I'll tell you what's really the worst, when they're more humble than you are, so they don't say nothing. So you running your mouth big and bad, I'm gonna dog walk him, da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, all right, okay. He said, it's Missouri, boy, it's a show me state. Show you something. And then you get dropped off. That's a bad look, my guy, when the person who was better was also the one who was humble. That's a bad look. Like I said, sometimes that ego is larger than you can justify. You might work to justify it. You might get your win, but you better find your lane, man, because it happens. Another little con I would say is that sometimes, and you kind of mentioned this too, you said, you might get to Jonah and somebody has some better burns than you do, and then now you kind of feel like shit. Sometimes, actually oftentimes, even though you might have a big ego, everybody is sensitive about something. You got you a little soft spot, a weak spot. When somebody targets that weak spot, they figure out what it is, they find that chink in your armor, that Achilles heel, and you've been running all that big talk, that's going to be so embarrassing. And it's going to come at the worst time. Like, for the Jonah example, you're going to be like flaming somebody up in front of some females. And then dude gonna get on your hairline. He gonna be like, fuck. And your whole change in body language, them girls gonna be laughing at you for a week, boy. I just wanna put that out there. You better be careful with them egos. You gotta find your line, man. Find your line. But I'm gonna give y'all an example. I told y'all earlier that some of the cons of my big ego came through. So back in like 2018, we got our first spot. And when I say we, me and Asim here, we teamed up with another guy. We were cool with him at the job, Chick-fil-A, and we told you what we was doing 5 years ago. This was 5 years ago. But we met this other guy at the job. He was another Capricorn like me. Him and I, we related a lot. We reminded each other of each other a lot. And we both had some big ass egos, especially in 2018. We was out of control. And but like I said, we were real relatable, and in the beginning, it was real cool. Like, we got on the same game together. We was on For Honor. We got in the gym together and stuff. And we were seeing a lot of the pros of competition. You know, he was working hard, I was working hard, Coach was working hard here. Like we were pushing each other, and it was great. And so we all teamed up and we got a spot together, got our first apartment. Real cool. Everybody got up out their mom's house, like had our own spot. So what do dudes with their own spot do? They get some females, because why else did you get the spot if not to host some females? And we were too young, our egos were too big, because when the females got involved, the competition, it went too far. I'm not going to get into the specifics, because I could. Listen, I ain't proud of everything I did. There are some moments I would hope that, oh, bro's not proud of everything he did. If you're watching this, you know who it is, man. Nothing but love for you. Even though we don't really speak these days. But those two big egos we had clashed. And then suddenly, instead of just competing to uplift one another and push one another and like boost the brotherhood, we were at odds with one another. You know, there was that animosity. That was a long winter. You know, that lease that we went through together where, like, can you imagine staying right across the hall from somebody? Y'all come in the house just about the same time, or like one party's coming in, other party's leaving, and y'all don't speak because the energy is that far off. Like, those are some of the things that can go wrong when the egos go too far. And like, especially to the men out there, be careful when the women get involved. Like, put the brotherhood first. Live by code. Don't live by the emotions of the moment. Put a code first where the brotherhood comes first. Because if not, you know, when y'all get to competing and whatnot, and like I said, and the women are watching, the winner is going to feel great. Like, yeah, I embarrassed my old boy in front of his girl. That nigga is going to hate you. When you embarrass your boy in front of his girl, he is going to hate you. I'm so serious. Me and this other guy, dude really does not speak to me to this day. Like, I could hit him up and he would probably message me back just because he for optics. He don't want it to look bad. He doesn't want it to look like he's still fixated on it. So like, oh, I'm not gonna not message back, but like, dude, don't fuck with me no more. Like, I really blew that one up. I would love to get another chance at it, but you live and you learn. That was a learning lesson for me. But that was one of those opportunities for me to learn, hey, you got to temper that ego because it can take you too far. And so we ran over all this. What I really want to say is, like, the best thing you can do with that ego is you got to find your duality, man. You got to find your balance point. You have to learn to balance that ego with the humility. You got to have them both. You should have the ego to justify you to work hard the ego, might push you to justify it, but have the humility to understand when it's time to shut up. Like, you don't have to brag all day. You don't. Sometimes you can be the one that's better, the one who had the ego, you worked hard, you're better, and now you're humble about it, you're quiet about it, you let your work ethic speak for you. I kind of put it like this: learn to weaponize your ego to your advantage. I'm a big believer in transmutation. Taking one thing, maybe a sadness, a anger, a frustration, a happiness, whatever, transforming it within yourself and using it to be what you need it to be. Take that big ego, all that shit that you think about yourself, all that big talk, learn to transmute that into motivation to justify, to keep going hard. The example I got, when we go to the gym, and we talk about the gym every week, we probably will continue to, because we go every week, iron sharpens iron. But, we know the staff around the gym like pretty well. The dudes there, like, they rock with us. They call us the Ninja Fit Crew. Shout out Shinobi Chronicles. But every so often, like, say we're bench pressing, one of the dudes would come over and they'd be like, oh, let me get in there real quick. And then we'd be like, we're already on the third or fourth set, man. And like, they'd be like, oh, throw a little more weight on there. They get to throwing them reps and stuff, and we'd be like, but this is what I'm saying: transmute that energy. Weaponize your ego. In our heads, sometimes, like, there are times where we got on right afterwards, and like in our own heads, it was like, hey, well, I'm not gonna look like no bitch in front of bro, and like it gets you through the set. But you have to that's a skill you gotta learn. Or there have been times where, like, dudes who we don't even know are just in the gym. We're minding our business, running our reps. Some dude goes like, I can't make this up. I promise we've been like doing some dips before. Get off the machine, bro. Go. And we're looking around like, who are you? And mind your business. But then in the back of our heads, like, oh shit, now somebody watching something. You ain't finna see me look like no bitch. Like, Gotta justify the ego, you know? So, I feel like that's really all I wanted to say on the topic. You know, any other quick thoughts on big egos, pros, cons, stories, examples?
On that note, but based off what he said, like when people clap, I'm not gonna say don't do it, because you know, it's for a lot of things I see about gym is people going to the gym for where they had a heartbreak, the girl left them or something like that. So having a little clap, you know, they might take that. Now, us personally, if I don't know you, don't fucking talk to me. But yeah, just you know, still clap for people if you see them doing like putting in some work. Now, going to talk to them or like commenting on some shit, you can keep this shit to yourself. But clap though, like oh, good shit. That's it. Just don't
keep it brief. I would say that, like keep it brief. You see somebody, hey, good shit, dog. What he said. Don't be like, don't stop what you doing or not be doing shit in the first place. And you come over and you're like, oh, what y'all got on there, man? Look at all that. Big dog, big dog. I'm just trying to work out, man. Please. If I wanted a show, I'd be in a bodybuilder contest. Like, leave me alone. Like, compliment and move on. Ain't you got your own workout, dog? Like,
it's compliment and move on, bro. That helps the ladies too. Fellas, compliment the ladies, move on.
Yeah, unrelated, kind of, but he got a good point though. Drop the compliment, move on. Don't be thirsty about it. Don't be a simp about it. Don't have nothing else on your agenda. Women want to see that you're a man on a mission. If you have 3 hours out of the blue to spend in her face doing nothing but kissing her ass and trying to tell her how pretty she is, that's gonna tell that you have nothing else on your agenda. You ain't got no mission, no purpose, no drive, no nothing going on. That's not a good look. Whereas if you, hey, I don't want nothing from you, I'm real busy, I got a guy I want to tell you real pretty, have a nice day, it's gonna take you far. And then when she see you again, she on that. that's gonna have her chasing you, but that was unrelated, but regardless, it was related enough. So we'll slide right into our third section for the day, and that's gonna just be our open thoughts to the public. So anything that's been on your mind, your heart, that you might have read, you might have seen, came off a reel, something that just touched you, came through a dream, anything that doesn't necessarily have to have a focus point, but something that the young ninjas can use. Any funny stories? I'm gonna tell you a funny story right quick. Did I tell you this story about the kid with the banana? I think I did. Oh my God. Okay, this has nothing to do with anything, but since we're talking, this is open thoughts to the public. And I guess I'm a precursor by saying it like, don't be weird, y'all. Don't be weird. But I was at work. Y'all know I work at a high school, security officer, whatever. Standing in the cafe as one of the lunches. Kid come out the bathroom. Said, dude, I see him fixing his hoodie right. Up there in front, I see a banana tucked in his pants like a pistol. Like, I was like, what? Scratching my head. So I was, hey, come here. Dude, the kid walks over. I said, bro, what are you doing? He's like, what you mean? I'm like, why you look like you finna up a banana on somebody, bro? Like, what you got going? He's like, what? I'm like, you tucking a banana, bro? You look like you finna go up a banana on somebody. What are you doing? You just came out the bathroom. Why you got the banana tucked? He's like, oh man, it ain't never that serious. I'm like, dude, you got on pants and a sweater. You got like at least 3 good pockets. Why is the banana tucked in your drawers like that? He put it in his pocket real quick. He said, oh man, you ain't never seen nobody do that before? You know? I was like, well, no, nigga, wait. No, I ain't never seen that before. Don't be weird. I don't know. Kid, if you watching, I'm not trying to flame you. I ain't even learn your name. We dapped up afterwards, but it was all good. He know I ain't trying to flame him, but that shit threw me off. Why? I don't know. What was he tucking the banana for? And then you just came out the bathroom. Didn't you just go pee? Is that where you want your banana? You just came out the bathroom. How was your banana in there with you? Why are you tucking it by your dende? Are you gonna eat that same banana? I have a lot of questions. I just have so many questions. Don't tuck bananas, kids. Like, unless you're psychotic, like unless you have like schizophrenia and you are about to up the banana, in which case seek help, please don't tuck. I just don't understand that. Don't tuck the banana. Like I said, it's just random, but that's been on my mind since I seen it. I'm still stuck on that. Like, why was he tucking the banana, y'all? I don't get it.
Well, picking up what you said on bananas, one thing did piss me off one day. I was minding my business at work. You know, I'm trying to be on a little healthier kick, you know what I'm saying? Because I was junk food addict. I like junk food. But, so I was like, all right, I'm going to get some, you know, something to snack on. So,
Very.
something to snack on. I'm like, instead of giving me like some little muffins or something like that, let me go get a banana real quick. Something I can peel real quick and eat real quick while I'm on the move. One of my coworkers, females at that, but one of them was too, like, way old, and the other one was, I don't want to say anything about women, but she wasn't really attractive. But they was like, he was eating a banana. I was like, yeah. He was like, did you break it in half? I was like, no, why? And he just started laughing. I mean, the whole time I knew they was thinking something gay.
No.
Like, can a nigga just eat a banana in peace? Come on, my business.
Can a nigga just eat banana in peace? I mean,
I shouldn't have to cut it up or break it apart and just like, come on, bro, get serious.
True, get your minds out the gutter, man. Not everything gotta be suspect. Y'all wanna see phallic symbols and everything. Get penis off your mind, okay? It's just a banana, yo. It's just a banana.
Niggas are sick.
I know that person. I'm not even gonna discuss. Oh God, now she knows me. She see me. Oh, that's okay. I'm just gonna not make eye contact. Gotta cut this. I'm gonna cut this from the episode too, because I don't want it to make the episode. But that same day, like 20, I'm not making this up, like 20 minutes after I seen the kid tucking the banana, I was checking the bathroom. As I'm getting ready to walk out, pair of dudes, it might have been like 3 of them walking in, and all I hear is, bro, you was choking on the banana. I wasn't choking on the banana. You was choking on the banana. I had to get up out of there, bro. These kids so suspect. 2023 is what a scary time to be alive. That's all I got to say. But
can't mind their business.
Niggas cannot mind their business. Y'all so suspect. Like, why? Come on, man. Just because it's a banana, so what? Nigga can't have cucumber no more. Oh, well, all right, I'm not probably eating no cucumber whole like that. But
I was gonna say, my nigga.
even so,
you can cut it up and eat it. That's the only thing I can say. Or something.
You get the point. What? Everything don't have to be a dente. Just saying. Like, can a man eat a banana in peace? But I don't want to harp on the banana. It's starting to make us look suspect.
What else? Reading wise, I do be on like the inspirational stuff and self-improvement books, but I enjoy like fantasy and comics and webtoons and all that stuff. So recently, Unordinary just had got a book out. You know what I'm saying? They instead of just a webtoon, you can actually get a physical copy. I got me a physical copy. So I think her name was Uru-chan, but Unordinary is a good read. Get on it. While I'm saying that, Random Chat is a good read too.
Paper Gold.
What else? My favorite webtoon is got out of high school. It had an anime adaptation, but the anime didn't pull everything from the webtoon, which made me kind of mad on key because the fights would have been a lot better. But anyways, yeah, those are good reads. Get on those. Get on them,
man. Good reads. Paper Gold. I got one more of this one. I don't know why I hadn't thought about it sooner. It's based on, you sent me this reel. You sent it in a group chat we had. The concept is on emotional intelligence, and a woman was on her show, on her podcast. I don't remember what it's called. I had to look again. It's downside of recording on my phone right now. I don't ever get to reference the stuff that like I have in my phone, but it's gonna get better, y'all. It's gonna get better regardless. Let me stick to the point. So, on their show, she was saying that women are always screaming about how they want emotionally intelligent men, and they do. Don't get me wrong. But she asks to the crowd, are women ready for the emotionally intelligent men that they're asking for? Because she said, look at this. An emotionally intelligent man is gonna, you want him to be able to have his own emotions tempered, to be able to manage with your emotions, so on and so forth. But additionally, he's going to be intelligent enough to tell you, hey, I don't like the way you're talking to me, so you're gonna have to cut that. Are you ready for that one? An emotionally intelligent man is going to be capable of saying, hey, I wish that I could do X, Y, or Z for you, or do X, do this with you, but I have my own agendas right now. I have to get this work done, so I gotta tell you no. Are y'all ready to be told no? An emotionally intelligent man is going to see how batshit crazy you are, how traumatized you still are, how undeveloped you still are, and he's going to walk your crazy ass out the door. Because why would he want a woman that's compromising his peace?
Exactly.
He would not, and he will not take that. Are y'all ready for that? I don't know why this just came to my mind, but this is open thoughts to the public, and I did have it. I saved it because I wanted to, probably wanted to mention it right here. But are y'all ready for the emotional intelligence that you desire? Because that tier of man is not taking just anything. Raise your emotional intelligence as well. Smash energy, y'all. Smash energy. But not with a dumbass. I say this all the time too. I want to put this out there because I feel like this is some of the best advice I've ever cooked up. And y'all kids, y'all young ninjas for sure, like please listen to me because y'all be the ones struggling with this the most for sure. Hey man, don't match energy with a dumbass. Don't match energy with an asshole. Don't match energy with a douchebag, with a jerk, with a pest, with a Karen. Do you know that if you match with a dumbass, what does that make you? A dumbass. You match with a clown, that makes you a clown. You match with a Karen, that makes you a Karen. Match with a bitch, that makes you a bitch. Do not match energy with lower tier energy. That just makes you what you're matching with. Stand above it, man. Stand above it. Emotional intelligence.
Into reference, where you got that this emotional intelligence stuff from? It was go on Instagram. Tonight's conversation.
There we go. What's up? What's up?
Yeah, I always like their conversations.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, check them out. Check them out.
So, cool. I think we good here.
Yeah.
All right. So, as I said before, it's our great honor to be able to serve you all here. So, if you made it this far, we definitely want to say thank you all for listening until the end. We came to this platform to be able to serve others who are striding down the path of greatness. And it's those of you who lend your time and your ears that make that possible. Whatever platform you're consuming on, be sure to like this episode, participate in our polls, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more insights on the life of the modern Shinobi. Also, do not forget to connect with us on Instagram and TikTok. That's where we're going to find our short form content. We're going to have YouTube shorts as well. And lastly, if there's anybody that you'd like to see on the show, anybody at all that you would like for us to collaborate with, I need you to reach out to them and let them know that you want to see them working with us. Content creators create for their fans. Let me say it again for the people in the back, or for y'all short attention spans that's not listening. Content creators create for their fans. So when you tell your favorite creators that you want to see a collaboration, that's what gets their attention pointed our way. So be sure to shout us out to whomever else that you're watching and listening to, all right? Drop us in the comments, send them a DM, whatever, send them a link, whatever you got to do. And with that said, I just want to thank everybody for joining this week. And I hope everybody is having a great day. Just remember, choose with your actions today who you're going to be tomorrow. Will you be greater than yesterday?